Okay, so today I'm going to go over showing you guys a technique of how to do an ombre. So before I start with my client, I'm going to sanitize my hands, double drape, and then I put on my gloves. Now I section my client into 4, and you're going to start in the back because that's where the darkest part of the hair is. You're going to come and now you're going to start in the back section of the hair. You're going to take out a 1/2 inch section, clip that up, and go ahead and you can back comb a little, that way you don't leave such a hard line. You don't want a line of demarcation. So you're going to back comb that. Then make sure you get your product and feather it up. And then with the back of the brush on the back strand of the hair, because you want to make sure that this is fully saturated, and bring that down to the ends. Then get your foil and place that there. Do not scrunch it down. All it is going to act as a barrier to the other piece of hair that you're going to bring down. With the remainder of what you have on your gloves, you can go ahead and wipe off the excess onto the towel. Take out another 1/2 inch section. Now this is an ombre, so that means that the bottom is going to end up being lighter. It's not going to be like how a balayage is, where it's every other, or you're leaving out pieces, because that's more of a sun-kissed look. This is going to be solid, but it's not going to have that hard line of demarcation. Again, back comb. Doesn't have to be a lot, just a little bit, just to make sure that you can blur that line. Get your product, comb it up. Again, it's on your brush, the back of it. And then go ahead and lay that down. It is pretty messy, but that's why you have towels, and they're double draped for a chemical service. Then you will, again, get another piece of foil and lay that on top. Now you're gonna complete your back 2 sections, and I'm going to show you now how we're going to move to the front. Okay, so now we're going to start in the front sections. Again, remember that this is lightener that you're using. So you're going to read your manufacturer label, but you're also going to want to go back and check what you've done previously. So you don't have to necessarily wait until you've completed the entire head. You can stop right now and you can come back and you could check your foil and be like, oh, you know, I could go ahead and rinse this out. If not, let it continue to process and continue to move on. So again, here we are at the front, back comb. And that's back combing it is just making sure that you're gonna not have that hard line. You wanna make sure that it's feathered up, so this is already gonna help that. You get your product. And now see how it's not all the way through on the bottom? Now that's what you're gonna do with that. Make sure that it's fully saturated and go ahead and drop that piece. You could put a foil there, but this is not gonna do, this isn't touching anything other than the towel that you already have on your client. So you don't have to put a foil on that one. The foil is just gonna act as a barrier. It's gonna help you avoid having any kind of bleeding, any product touching other strands of hair that you don't want it to get on. Take another section, pull that down, back comb again. Now, this is up to you as far as how high you want to take the ombre. Do they want it low? This is all going to determine in your consultation that you have with your client. Bring that down, see how it's saturated. And then you don't have to use foil. You can use saran wrap. You can use cotton. You can use anything else, pretty much, as long as you just have something in between those pieces. That way they're not bleeding onto the other one. So then you're going to continue on until you finish up onto the top. Again, before you get to your next side, go back and check your other foils that are in the back and see if it's at the desired level that it is. After you've reached the desired level and you're happy with the way that it looks, then you're gonna go ahead and take your client back to the shampoo bowl and wash her hair in cold water. And the purpose of washing their hair in cold water is to close the cuticle. So you're gonna wash their hair in cold water, shampoo and condition, bring them back to the chair and style their hair how they want it. Do they want a haircut? Do they need a haircut? And then go ahead and blow dry their hair. And then after that, you will determine if you're gonna need to tone it or if they're happy with the way that it is. Completed the ombre. This is also the same application that it would be for tipping and lighting.